Hello, everybody. If anybody's out there yet, I'm trying to figure out everything. Trying to figure out getting set up, a good setup going, because I have to use my webcam because I can't use my phone yet since you have to be at 1,000 subscribers. And so my webcam requires a different, well, I have to use the webcam. And so I have to use a different, tripod. And I'm not used to this tripod and it doesn't work the way I want it to work. So I kind of was having some difficulties. And then my elderly neighbor, who comes by all the time, decided that she was going to come by right like when I was trying to get everything ready to go. And she just wanted to come in, and she likes to give the dogs treats. And anyways, it just, I swear, has the worst timing. Always. It seems like when she comes, it's just, I don't know. But anyway, she comes over every day. And sometimes she sits down for 5 minutes, and other times she will stay for like an hour. And I am not so comfortable with her that I feel like I can like go about my day. Well, that was noisy and so not what I wanted to do. Okay. Anyways, I don't feel super comfortable with her like enough that I feel like I can do other things besides like sit and visit. And so it's just kind of sometimes overwhelming. This might freak my camera out, but I'm going to see what happens when, because for some reason, every time I have my light pad on, my camera wants to go all crazy. So hopefully it won't, because this, when it's really sunny in here, I don't need it for this painting, but because this painting is so dark, sometimes it's nice just to be able to get them, because I like them to be really straight. And so I like to be able to see them fairly well so that I can get them all nice and straight. Anyway, so therefore I have been using my light pad. This is the third day I've actually worked on this. It is a, I think it's a 55 by 50. I was wrong. So 55 by 50. It is the Lotus, the Chakra. I can't remember what they actually call it. Yeah. So the Chakra Lotus is the name. And it's from Diamond Art Club, and it is actually the glow in the dark one. So if you saw my video, my Whip It Wednesday video, this one is glow in the dark, and I love it. It is so pretty. Even not glowing in the dark, it is really, really pretty. Like the blues are just gorgeous colors. I love the blue. $9.95. I honestly didn't even know how much I liked this color until I started working on this piece, and it is just a really, really fantastic color. I really like it. So this is a very like last minute kind of a live I decided to do. I kind of forgot. I had told everybody I would do a live last Saturday, I think it was, that I said I would do it in the next 7 days. So I didn't want to not be true to my word. So I was like, all right, I better go on and do one today. I haven't done them before, like a whip and chat. I've only done, worked on them while I was doing like a giveaway, like I did last week. And so you guys will have to kind of bear with me. I'm trying to get on my tablet so that I can easily see the chat if I need to. If we get some people in here, that is. I think I put my, yeah, there we go. I didn't even know that was on there. It says I was incognito on there on my tablet. Here we go. Anyway, so getting this set up for the live, interesting, to say the least, because I have to, I'm in a corner in my living room, so it's like I'm kind of trapped. In front of my desk is my dog crate, and to this side is, like, over this way is the couch, and then over the other way is a counter. So I can't easily get in and out, and my computer is on the extendable part of my desk. So, like, when I do need to get up or down, it's like, I swear it takes me like 5 minutes and I'm going to fall on my face one of these times. Okay, hold on. Now I'm getting an echo because I am. Hold on. Now I'm getting an echo. Okay, there we go. Now I can see the chat, and because I could not see it on my computer for whatever reason. Yeah, so Diamond Painting Dreamer. I don't know when you looked last. It was sold out, but then it came back. And I don't know if it went out of stock again. I didn't think it did, but maybe it did, and I just wasn't paying attention. So, and hi, Rebecca. And Autumn and Ginger. Sorry, guys, and Diamond Painting Insomnia. I could not see any of you because for whatever reason, I don't know why my computer, that side is not showing me chat for some reason. That's why I was going to turn on my tablet, which I did. So I really don't need to fiddle with that because I have my tablet and it's on my, like, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so my setup is interesting, to say the least, to get into it. Yeah, Rebecca, that's what I thought. I thought it was in stock now. So, because when it first came out, hold on, I got to get a drink. I will be stopping periodically to get a drink. I lose my voice really easily. But when it very first came out, I didn't really, it's not that I didn't like it, but I wasn't drawn to it so much that I wanted to buy it. And so I didn't. And then Miss Coffee did it, and she did it really fast. It's a really quick one to work. Anyways, and she did like her like review where she showed it, and I was like, it was just so much better seeing the actual diamond painting than just seeing the picture. And I fell in love with it. So I went in and I put my, you can go in, if it's out of stock, you can go on and give them your email address, and then as soon as it comes back in stock, they will email you, and that way you can get it like right away, because sometimes if it goes out of stock, it can be really hard sometimes to get them back, because by the time you get, like, a couple months ago, I was trying to get the We Miss You, or I Miss You one, and it had been out of stock for a long time, and it came back in stock, and I got the email, but I didn't like actually see my email for like 2 days, and I went over and it was out of stock again. I was so disappointed. So I had to wait another like 4 weeks. Then it came back in stock, and I literally had to do it right then, or it was going to be like out. So hi, Beth. Hi, Randy. So Beth, I know that you must be, I know there's a couple different Beths out there, but every so often when I'm different live and they say Beth, I'm like, wait a minute, what? I didn't say anything, because my name, if you guys don't know, my name is Elizabeth, but I've gone by Beth like my entire life. My mom, started calling me that at a really early age. I tried to change it when I was in high school to go by Elle, but it didn't work. Like nobody wanted to, or nobody could do it. They just like, I don't know. When you know somebody for a long time with a name, it's really hard to change your name. So I've gone back to Beth. And then the funny thing is my husband's name is Seth. And so people say to us all the time, when I introduce him, they'll be like, "Oh, did you do that on purpose?" I'm like, "Yep, I married my husband just because his name rhymed with mine." Hi, Laura. How are you guys all doing? I know it is, I don't know what time zones you are in. To me, it is 6:20. I'm in Pacific Standard Time. I live in Washington. But yeah, so I'm just reading your comments. You guys will have to bear with me. I'll probably say this a few times because this is my first like whip-in chat. And so multitasking, yeah, for me, depending on what it is, I'm pretty good at it. But trying to do this, talk and read comments might be a little difficult at first. Because yeah, like it's just, I think it's one of those things that you have to get used to. When I first started doing my channel, when I recorded my videos, like I'm not a nervous person typically with like people. Like I love people. I'm very talkative. I'm very outgoing. So it was kind of a new weird thing for me when I first started my YouTube channel and recording videos because I found myself kind of nervous and messing up a lot on my words or whatever. And it took me, I want to say like a couple weeks to really not feel that way anymore in front of the camera. And so now doing live, it's kind of that whole same thing again because I'm like, okay, I have to watch the chat. I want to work on my project, obviously, and hopefully entertain you guys because otherwise it'd be kind of boring, you know? So, but anyway, so you'll have to bear with me. But I'll get used to it. And it's not like I usually have a problem finding things to talk about because I could talk about like a speck on the wall probably if I needed to, because I'm just kind of a chatterbox. Always have been. And yeah, so this week was nice. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Today was like the perfect day to do the first one though, because my kids are gone. They are camping with my mom and dad. And so they are both gone. And one of my dogs is gone. The other one's here, and you might hear him if somebody like walks by or something. But and you've probably, if you've watched many of my videos, you've probably seen both of my dogs in the videos. But anyway, so it's quiet today, and I didn't have to worry about, dealing with the kids and trying to do the live all at the same time for the first time. Especially because my son, he's 13, and he likes to, when I did my, I don't know if any of you guys were in there when I did my giveaway live. He was in there, and I didn't know he was in there at first. I didn't recognize. I recognized his like little, symbol thing, but I couldn't place it. Like I wasn't thinking, oh yeah, that's Matt. And he was talking and stuff and saying things. And then I realized it was him, and he was just being, he's a goof. He is a goof. So, but anyways, yes, it can be, for the first time getting on here, I think a lot of people feel that way, at least the people I've talked with that do these regularly now. I have a few people that have kind of mentored me when I first started, because to be honest, I did not know anything about YouTube except for like, oh, I want to know how to do something, or I want to watch a video or music or something. Go on, look it up. And like that was my extent to my knowledge. And when everybody kept telling me on my Facebook group that I should do a YouTube channel because I would do a lot of videos for them, I was like, oh yeah, that'd be kind of fun. I'd like to do that. But I didn't feel like I knew enough about like the YouTube YouTube life, I guess, I don't know, about all the ways that editing and all of that stuff. It was just really overwhelming to me. But my kids promised they'd help me, which they have, and now I really don't need their help editing anymore. And I have a couple other YouTube friends that have helped me out when I've needed it, with questions and all that. And so that is my favorite part about coming and getting in. See, I told you the camera wax out. It's the light. So if it keeps doing it, I'll have to just deal without my light pad. But anyways, I forgot what I was saying. And let me think. What was I saying here? I don't remember. Oh, I have other people that have helped me. So it's been very nice. Hi, Christy. Hope you guys are I hope you guys are all having a great weekend. First of all. And I saw something that I was going to, Diamond Painting Dreamer. I heard what you said. You said, I hear you. I get it. I have one live scared me to death. Yeah. The first time I went on live was I was doing a giveaway. I think it was for my 50 subscribers. So it was a couple months ago. And see, this is what happens when I talk. I get sidetracked, and I started doing it in the wrong place. Luckily, I caught it, though, fairly quickly. Anyways, but yeah, so I was so nervous for that one. And then when I got on that one, I had like 30 people watching me, and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it was really nerve-wracking. Luckily, I had something like I was going through all of the paintings that I was like giving away, the choices that people had. So I had something kind of to do with my time rather than just try to come up with like things to talk about. But yeah, so now I have to move all of these. Trying to think, which color was it that I did it wrong with? Yeah. Don't you guys hate that when you mess up? Like, I don't do it like a ton. Okay, light pad, you're going bye-bye. I will deal without you. I don't mess up a lot, but when I do, it's so frustrating because you just have to go back and like, fix your work. And it drives me nuts. But luckily, I usually catch it. Like I saw one girl. I felt so bad. She posted something in my Facebook group. This was a couple months ago, but she had messed up, and she had done like an obvious color that it wasn't like the right color at all. So she couldn't even leave it and try to get away with it. And I mean, it was like a drastic color difference. And she had put down like an hour's worth of drills. And then she had to go back and pick them all up. It was, I just felt so bad because that's a lot of work to have to go back and fix. It's nice about, like, especially with Diamond Art Club, if I mess up, their drills, you can slide them fairly easily. And so I really like that, but it can be frustrating. I tell you guys, if you don't have these tweezers that are curved, get some. Seriously. They are so nice. They pick up drills so easily off of your canvas. Like even the other ones that are metal like this, but they're just pointed straight down. I don't know what the major difference is, but these ones do it so much like easier. And I would pick drills up with these any day, like over any other tweezers. And so seriously, if you don't have a pair of those, get them. I got a whole set of, I don't know where they all are because, when you need something, it's never like right there. Here we go. I got this set on AliExpress. It was under $10. I believe it was $8 something, and totally worth it. You get all of these really heavy duty, nice tweezers, and they come with ones that have different shapes. And like this one, if I can grab it out of here. Ugh. So these ones are flat like this. And if you saw, I just did an unboxing. I posted it yesterday, I think, yeah, I think it was yesterday I posted it. It was of from the Handicraft painting store. Anyways, what was I saying? I totally lost my train of thought. Something about when I was doing my unboxing. Oh, it had a couple little rivers in it. And those tweezers I just showed you with the flat end, you can go like take them and just like go like this and like push the river down and it disappears. I love it. I always have those handy when I am unboxing something, because if there is a problem, I can get rid of it like in 2 seconds right away. So yes, my weekend had been upsetting, so I'm hoping my weekend is better. Or your week had been upsetting. I'm sorry, Christy. I hope everything gets better for you. I have had a pretty rough couple weeks myself, so I get it. I don't know what's going on, but I hope you will be in my thoughts and prayers that the weekend is hopefully better and more relaxing. And this weekend has been wonderful for me in kind of the rejuvenating thing for me, because I have been so tired and so stressed. So, yeah, I just haven't been sleeping a lot. My daughter is, if you guys are new to my channel, welcome. But my daughter, my 10-year-old, she is a type 1 diabetic. And for whatever reason, her blood sugars, we could not keep them up no matter what we did. She is completely insulin dependent, has been for almost 6 years now. Type 1s they're always insulin dependent. And because the type 1's pancreas completely dies and doesn't make any insulin anymore. And so it was just really weird and confusing, because she literally went, I want to say a day and a half with like only a half a unit of insulin. Like that was it. And her blood sugars were like in the 150s, which for her, that's perfect. It was horrible though. We had some really like dramatic lows. She dropped from 65 to 24 and within 7 minutes, and actually passed out on us. That was the very first time that's ever happened where she's actually passed out. And it's scary. It's not a thing I would wish on anybody. It is not a fun thing. So since, a few weeks ago when her blood sugars really started, for some reason, having this problem, I have been, checking her blood sugar like every hour and a half to 2 hours, and at night too. And so I just haven't been. Sometimes I compare having a type 1 diabetic child to having newborn triplets, because sometimes that's the amount of sleep I think I get, is if I would have newborn triplets, because it just takes a long time. Ginger, yes, she does have, so she is on a pump, but for the moment, her pump died on us, which it was time to get the new one anyways, but her pump died. We were trying to get the new one. We were having a problem with the insurance company, that basically they weren't giving me the right information. And I kept asking them like where it was, and they're like, oh, it's in processing and shipping, and it's just being waiting to be processed through shipping. And that's what they just kept telling me. And finally, when we went to my daughter's doctor, and he was like, you have to call the actual supply company, then they will put it through their shipping. And that's what the problem was. Well, nobody told me that. And so I had no idea. I mean, it's been 4.5 years since we first got her pup. So anyways, so we were waiting on it. And so it should be in the mail, like as we speak. I'm hoping it should be here the beginning of the week, because it is a lot. It's a game changer for sure, for her and for us, because it you can slow down insulin, you can stop insulin, and it's huge. So sorry, kind of off topic. Do you have any tips or tricks for dummy circles? I am getting so frustrated with the black showing no matter how perfectly I center the drills. Autumn, what company is it from? Do you know? Is it I'm guessing it's probably from AliExpress, but do you know who it's from? Like which company for? Because I tell you, like, I despise. I know some people like them, and that is cool. To each their own. I despise them. I hate the dummy circles or the training wheels, whatever you want to call it. I hate them. Absolutely hate them. They drive me bananas. For that same reason, Autumn, they are super frustrating, because if they make them bigger than the drills are, you see the black in them. And it doesn't matter how perfect you line them up. If it's bigger, it will not work. And Home Fun, yes, Lily, I will not order a round from Home Fun. I like them. I have nothing negative to say about them except that their dummy circles are too big. And that is the problem. When a company does dummy circles correctly, it's not a problem. I don't mind them at all. Like, I just bought one that had dummy circles on it, and it was yesterday actually in my the handicraft store, that I even, like, in my unboxing went and put a couple on there, because if the black showed, I was sending it back. I wasn't even going to try to deal with it. So Autumn, I recommend, if you got a round from Home Fun, if you have an issue, because some people don't mind the little bit of black that shows. I do. I am like obsessive about it, and I can't handle it. And so when I had that problem with Home Fun, I contacted them and I told them my issue, and I said, I either want to return it with a refund, or I want to switch it over to a square. And they did that for me, no problem. And so seriously, if you just ordered one, if you can, go in and talk to them, because their customer service is really good. They have nice canvases. I love their square paintings, but I will not do a round from them because of that. And the one I was working on from them that I had such a problem with, the canvas was like a eggshell cream. And so the black circles showed so bad. It was really, really, like, obvious. And I just couldn't handle it, because even when I put it like a foot away from my face, I could see those black lines behind it. And I was taking, like, my sweet time putting them as perfect as I possibly could. And it just didn't matter. It did not matter at all. So I would recommend contacting them, because and if you want, look up, like I said, the Handicraft painting store does dummy circles. However, their dummy circles are quite a bit smaller than the drills, so there's no problem. So if you like dummy circles, go on and get yourself one from them. And they're really reasonably priced. It came in a box around a one of the foam things. in a nice box, and everything. It came with an inventory. I loved it. I mean, I haven't worked on it, that one particularly yet, but from what I've seen, I would give them a thumbs up. So they're a good one to get around from with dummy circles that aren't a problem. Home Fun, unfortunately, yeah, they need to work on that and get rid of those. Either make them smaller or just take them out altogether. I don't know. Yeah, Ginger, I love Home Fun for square drills. Their drills are nice. They don't pop. The canvases are decent canvases. I haven't got one that, came with a ton of like rivers or anything, and their customer service is good. And their shipping is fairly quick, actually. I was pleasantly surprised. Every time I've bought from them, I'm always, expect the worst with how long it's going to take. And they are always usually fairly quick. So it's kind of funny. I don't know if you guys do this, but I don't know how many I have in my stash. And that's kind of sad. But like I know just alone I have over 30 Diamond Art Clubs. And then I probably have, I don't even know, a ridiculous amount of other ones. And when I order one, I usually am working on a piece. Like right now, I'm working on this one. And if I have one coming, I still get so like excited and anxious because I'm like, not anxious in a nervous way, but impatient. That's a better word. Impatient. And like the second it gets here, I'm like, oh, I want to record it so I can unbox it right now. I can't work on it right then because I have like a bazillion other things that are in front of it, but I'm still like super impatient. I don't know why. I don't want to wait like the weeks that it takes to come, but I do because, I try to get from a lot of different places. Diamond Art Club, of course, is my favorite, as you probably all know by now, but I do like for my own, for just myself, because I can't get everything I want from Diamond Art Club, every image and stuff. And I also like to get stuff so that I can show you guys different places as well. And so I get from AliExpress a lot. And then my pens, I am working on getting my Etsy shop going. Miss Coffee has been bugging me about it like at least once a week. And I am working on it. I didn't want to open up the shop without having any inventory, like I didn't want to have like 5 pens and be like, here, oops, I'm out of stock of everything. So I was trying to get some inventory in, and I'm still working on it. In the beginning, I probably won't have a high volume of each pen because I don't know what people are going to want. I was kind of thinking about doing like a live auction maybe in the beginning or something. I don't know. It's kind of all over the place at this point, but I have quite a few pens that I have made over this weekend and some cover minders that I've made. And I love these ones that I just got and made up. If I can get them off of my thing. Hopefully they don't jump into each other because the magnets, they're strong, but they're super pretty. They're sparkly and yeah, and the magnets, they're serious business. I have them on my thing right now. I have the purple one right here and then the pink one, and I love them. They're really pretty. I love the sparklies, the gems looking ones, and I've got some other stuff up my sleeve, but I'm trying to also, the other thing that's taking me longer, and you guys give me your opinions. Thank you, Laura. I thought they were too. I was like, when I ordered them, I wasn't sure. And then when they came, I was like, ooh, these are so shiny and pretty, and I love them. And the colors, they're really, really pretty. They're just really pretty colors. So I want to see who likes as far as drill pens go. If you've tried plastic or if you have used the regular metal ones, the metal tip, let me show you in case somebody out there doesn't know what I'm talking about. So here is the metal tip. If my camera will focus well enough. Come on, camera. Hello. And then the plastic tip is that. What do you guys prefer, plastic or metal? Or do you care? When I first tried plastic, I liked it, but I didn't really think like, oh, it's such a huge difference that I would care that much. Until I really started using it more and realizing like how often I do move drills around on my canvas. And with the plastic drill pen, you won't scratch your drills. So like with what I was just doing when I messed up over here, and I was taking the drill pen and I was sliding the drill with it. We've all probably done that, I hope. At least I have many times. The plastic one isn't going to scratch the top of the drill. If you use the metal tip one and you're moving drills and you slip it at all, I have made it to where I have scratched over at the top of a drill and had to take that drill completely off and get rid of it because it was so scratched, it was obvious. Now, the plastic one is definitely like it feels different. So it took me, I want to say, a good like couple days to even a week to get used to the feel because it did feel different, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, I really do prefer the plastic now just because of the fact that it won't scratch your drills. But the thing is with pens is there are some pens that you cannot transform into the plastic drill. You have to do metal tip because there's just no way to make it a plastic tip. But I am trying everything and anything on them so that they have the option of using either plastic, metal, or multi. And so it's taken me a little longer because I am trying to get that kind of like versatile in there so that you guys can choose which ones, you want. Like on this mermaid one that I just got in. It's really nice because it's really thick, and so it's easy to hold on to. It's comfortable to hold on to. However, the way it was, I would have had to only use a metal tip. But I was able to figure it out and to put in a piece of the of like the pen they send with all your diamond paintings in there, so that way that you could take out whichever one you wanted, if I can get it out. So you can take that out, you can put the metal tip in if you prefer, you can put a multi-tip in there if you prefer. And so I'm trying to get as many as my pens as I can to do that. So that's also why it's taking me a little bit longer, so. Oh, my mouse light up. Yes. This is like a gaming mouse. It's got a snake or something on it, I think. Yeah. Anyways, it's my son's. He is he's 13. So if any of you have 13-year-old boys or have had, like, he's very into video games and computers, and he is brilliant with computers. He really is. He's just very smart with them. And this computer is not his, but he uses it more than any of us do. But yeah, he bought the mouse and it lights up, and then he also bought the keyboard that goes with it, and the keyboard lights all up too. And it was an expensive piece. Like for both the keyboard and the mouse, it was like 200 and some bucks. It was not a cheap thing. And he had to pay for it himself because that was not something I was just going to pay for. But he saved up his money and bought it for himself a couple years ago. And it's lasted a while because he cares about it. So I think that's one good thing when you make your kids pay for something that's expensive and they have to save their money. They definitely will treat it better because they know that, you know, how much it took to get it. And not just give it, because if you give it to them, they don't have to work for it. So if they mess it up, they don't think anything of it, you know. They just think, oh, I'll just get another one. Nope. It's not the way it works in my house. My kids have to earn their money if they want to get something. So thank you, Seth. You'll have to excuse my dog because my husband is taking out the trash, and Lincoln will go crazy when he gets home because he acts like he hasn't seen him in days and goes bananas and gets super excited. Lincoln is very vocal. He's my 2-year-old dog, and he is very, very vocal. He talks a lot, barks when he's happy, when he's excited. He's just, he's kind of, he's a turkey. We'll say that. But anyways, but yeah, it's a good thing for kids, I think, to have to pay for things themselves and not just get everything handed to them. Hi, Creative Grammy. I hope you're doing good this evening. I don't know if it's like nighttime where you are or just evening like for me. But yeah, my daughter wanted my daughter diamond paints. She is 10. And she wanted the Mulan one. She also wanted the storybook one and a couple other ones. And I was like, no. So, you know, they're not cheap. And the Mulan one, I think it was the $59.95 one or something. And it's big. It's 42 by 125. And I told her that if she paid for part of it, she could have it. And if she finished it, you know, and didn't get bored with it because it is so big, then I would talk about helping her get the storybook one that she wants. So we'll see, because she's pretty good about saving her money. When she was only 6, she wanted this like little remote control dog. This was before we had dogs of our own. And it was a $79 toy. And I told her I wasn't going to pay $79 for a toy. And so she saved her money for almost a year to get it. And when she finally had enough money, we went and she got to pick it out. And she was so cute. That thing went everywhere with her. And she took better care of that than she has most of the things that she has in her life. She doesn't use it anymore, really, because she has the real dogs, and you know, that was like 4 years ago, so she's kind of grown up. But is the Storytime one not on there anymore? Diamond Painting Dreamer? I thought it was still on the Diamond Art Club site. Last time I was on there, it was. Because she reminds me about it all the time, but she's still working on Mulan, and she will be for a while because that sucker's big. And she isn't like me. She doesn't sit down for hours and hours at a time and do it. And so it's going to take her quite a while. But I thought it was on there. Yeah, it's a Diamond Art Club one. And I like it. It's not one I personally would choose for myself, though. But she really, really likes it. So I told her she's got to finish Mulan first, and then we'll talk. But Yeah, I saw it on the Storybook one, and I saw a bunch of others from Mandy Manzano's on AliExpress the other day, and I went in and I messaged the company and told them that they had, stolen images up for sale, and that they should take them down, or I would notify the artist. And I've done that before, and I've always had really good responses to that. Like everybody, I was like, oh yeah, and they're usually taken down fairly quickly. Like Home Fun actually did that. They had a couple on there, and I went and told them, and they apologized, and they were down within the hour of talking to them, which I thought was really, really cool. Another reason why I really like them, because accidents happen, things get posted. I mean, I don't even know how many workers they probably have, but they take them down. But this company doesn't sell, so I'm probably gonna have to contact the artist, because I don't think it's fair. I just don't. But is the Read Me a Bedtime Story? It's not Read Me a Bedtime Story. I believe it's just let me see if I can look it up. You'll have to bear with me here, because my keyboard is not on my desk. It's like next to me here. So, okay. I don't think it's called Read Me a Story. I thought it was just called Story Time. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, hold on a second. It's being finicky with me. All right, my phone is doing like a little swirly thing. So are you guys there, or did we get cut off? Because it's still wanting to do that. So let me close it and see if I can get back on here. Yeah, okay, we're good. We good. Yeah, I can't find it. I know it's here though, because I saw it the other day. But if I'm remembering, it's just called Story Time, and it's got a lot in it. It's not. Oops, I just picked up the wrong pen. I'm like, why does this pen feel different? I picked up my mermaid one and not the other one. So let's see. I'm going to click in here real quick and look for you. It might be, you might be right though. It is called Tell Me Stories. That's what it's called. Tell Me Stories. I don't know if my camera will let me show you if it's gonna like freak out because it's light. I don't know. We'll see. That is the one I'm talking about, and it's called Tell Me Stories. So that's the one that she wants. So it's kind of a lot like going on in it. So yeah, I don't know. It's not one that I think that would keep my interest as much, but she, like that is just like goes to show that everybody has their own style and everybody has their own opinion. And so if one person doesn't like something, it doesn't matter, because somebody else will. And that's wonderful, because then the artists can, not everybody's going to like everything, and that's okay. I actually at first, and I'm ashamed to admit it, but at first, when I very first saw Mandy Manzano's artwork on there on Diamond Art Club, I wasn't like thrilled, to be honest. I was like, yeah, they're okay. But for some reason, they have grown on me so much. And now, I want to say probably 80%, maybe more, of my Diamond Art Clubs are hers. And I collect like all of them if I can. I love her artwork now. There's been a couple though that I like, but I haven't loved, and other people have. And so yeah, but one of my favorites though, and I know it's kind of some people like it and some people don't, but the Ariel, the one I did a couple weeks ago, Ariel with her eyes opened. I loved it. I thought it was super cool. I loved her eyes. I thought they were beautiful. And everybody was talking about how they didn't like her eyes being open, and they wished that they had made with her eyes closed. And I was the opposite. I absolutely loved her eyes that they were open and they were blue, and the blue and the white in them were ABs, and so it just made them like so shiny. And people were saying like that it was too pixelated, but it's a diamond painting, and a lot of diamond paintings are kind of pixelated. So I don't know, but I loved it. I like the ones with the eyes closed too. It's not like I don't, but I really liked how they did that one with the eyes open. It gave a little variety. But Autumn, I mean, like I said, so everybody likes different things, and that is the way it should be, because that way everybody gets something. And if everybody likes the same thing, that would be boring. You know what I mean? It's like how everybody has different preferences with people, with their significant others. Some people maybe like skinnier people, some people like bigger people, some people like outgoing, and some people like shy. And so because there's so many differences in us, that is the good thing. There is somebody out there for everybody. And yeah, I mean, I know it's totally different, people versus diamond paintings, but it's true. There is a diamond painting out there for everybody. Everybody. Hi, Odd But Nice. Welcome. I hope you're having a good evening. It is, I don't know what time, I obviously don't know where you guys are all from. I am in Spokane, Washington. So we are Pacific Standard Time. So it is 7 o'clock here. And it's starting to get dark already. Are you guys like me and get super bummed out when it starts getting dark early? Because I hate it. Hate it. I love the summer. It goes by way too fast. I know everybody gets like really into fall. I am not a huge fall person. There are things I love about the fall. I like crock pot meals, and I like, being cozy and inside when it's cold outside. But I'm not a huge, I don't know. I like summer because the days are so long, and my depression and anxiety and stuff is so much better when it's light outside. I'm so much more active and so much more productive when it's light outside. And in my home, when it's dark, I have every light on. My mom used to like get so annoyed with me when I was a kid because I'd always have all the lights on. And my husband is the same way. He gets really annoyed because I always have all the lights on, because I like the light. I don't like it when it gets dark. It's not that I'm like scared of going out in the dark. The sun. I take my dogs out in the dark all the time, but in the winter time and stuff. But yeah, so I get anxiety when the sun sets. I don't know why. So I keep my windows and doors closed when it's getting close to sunset. Autumn, I get it. I really do. It's not like, I don't think, at least for me, it's not like I'm scared of the dark per se. I don't love the dark. I'm not gonna lie. When I was a kid, I was very scared of the dark when I was a kid. And my parents have a 5-story home. Now it's not as big as it sounds, but it's broke up into 5 stories. And the very top story is where the TV is. And so my bedroom was in like the basement, not the very lowest floor, but like second to the lowest floor. And I remember as a kid, turning all the lights on and telling myself, like, if the lights were on, it would freeze bad guys or monsters or something. And so if the lights were on, I was always safe. And so I always had the lights on in my house. And it's just now ingrained in me. I also just like the light. But yeah, I remember I used to go up the stairs and like half looking behind me. And my mom would always get mad when I would leave the lights on. And so I would turn the light off and then I would like run up the stairs. But yeah, I was a pretty chicken child. I have had anxiety my entire life. And so yeah, I just prefer the longer days. But yeah. LOL. I'm 24 and I still believe this, that they will freeze monsters and bad guys. I know. It's just kind of like it like tricks your brain. And yeah, no. I know, Autumn. I still feel that way. I told my kids that too. And my son, even though he's 13, he is a chicken. Like big time chicken. But yeah. So hold on, I got to go back and read this one that I missed here. And if I miss a comment, I am sorry. I'm really trying to get them all, but yes, it makes me want to go to bed early, but I also like the colder weather. See, I don't mind when it gets cold. Like, it's not the cold weather that gets me so much. It's just that I like the long days. And I just don't like it how short the days are in the winter. And also the fall, I get my worst allergies in the fall. And so I spend a lot of fall days with really bad sinus headaches or sinus infections. So that I think has kind of turned me from fall because everything else about it I really do love. I love the smell in the air, and I love, the trees are beautiful. There's a lot about it I do like. It's just, I don't like getting dark early. Yeah. Okay. I am such a big baby. My husband works oil field, so I'm alone a lot. I thought it would be bright to watch a scary movie by myself, knowing I'm a chicken. My cat decided to crawl under the couch and stick her paw out and grab my foot. Yeah, I would have probably peed my pants. Yeah. Yeah. Springtime, diamond painting insomnia. Springtime is my favorite. Because it's getting warmer, everything's so fresh and new, and I love when the grass goes from like dead to, I swear it does it in a day, it seems like, where all of a sudden it's just like beautiful green grass. That is one of my favorite things. But I would say that spring and summer are my favorite. I love Christmas, I love Christmas time, and I like the snow. And that's one good thing about where I live in Spokane is that we get all 4 seasons, and we get all of them fairly hard. Like winter times, we can have a ton of snow and really cold winters, or we could have not so cold winters. We could have a really hot summer or a mild summer. So, but we get everything. We get the we get the spring, we get the fall, summer, winter, all of it. So that's one thing I do like. But sometimes the winters can feel a little long towards the end of them. But yeah, so Autumn, I actually, even though I'm a chicken, I love scary movies. I don't know how well I would do watching one like in the dark, totally alone though, because my husband, he works during the day. He goes really early in the morning to work. Like he gets up at 3 or 4 in the morning to go. And so he's home in the evening, but he goes to bed like at least by 8 because he gets up so early. And but he's always here, and then my kids are here too. And so I'm never alone. Oh, I wish I had some more alone time, but I love my parents for taking both my kids camping, because even though my husband's here, it's still like I have alone time because the kids aren't bothering me, and I can just sleep and not have to like worry and stress about getting up in the middle of the night to check my daughter, or worry that, her blood sugar is low, so I can't go to bed or whatever. So yeah, but there was one time though, I was watching, was it a movie? It was a show called like Ghost Stories, I think, or like Celebrity Ghost Stories, maybe. I don't know, something like that. No, My Haunted House. That's what it was. It's My Haunted House. It's a reality show about people like telling the story of what happened to them, and then like there's reenacting of it. And I was watching that show, and I was in the living room, and the kids were both in their bedrooms. My husband was in his bedroom, and I was in the living room by myself, and I was watching it, and I had turned on all the lights, of course. All the lights were already on in my house. And my husband came through, and he's like, "You don't need all the lights on." And he doesn't do that very often. But he did that time, and I was like, okay, so he turns them off. Well, I didn't get right back up to turn them on. I was going to, but I just didn't do it right away. And I was sitting on the couch, and a scary part happened. And I swear he just probably sat there and waited for it. But a scary part happened, and he jumped around the corner at me on the couch in the dark, and I screamed so loud. And I am not kidding you. I've never had this happen before, but have you ever got so scared and so startled? It's almost like an electric shock goes through your body. And I jumped up. Oh, I was so mad. I was so mad. Oh, yeah. But I was laughing hysterically too because I jumped so bad. But I was like, why would you do that? But he likes to, I get scared so easy. Not scared, startled. I get startled very easily. So they all have, well, my daughter doesn't do it to me, but my son does now. He thinks it's funny, and I've gotten really mad at him about it too, because we can just be sitting there, and if like nobody's talking and it's kind of quiet, and they'll make this sound. I'm not going to do it like they do it because it's really loud and annoying, but they go, pew, and they do it so loud, and it gets me every single time. I get really mad when he does it when I'm driving, and I'm like, one of these days you're going to make me get in a wreck. And he's like, no. But I swear it scares me so bad sometimes but I actually get like mad at him when he does it in the car because I don't think that's safe. Like one of these times I'm going to, startle so bad, I'm going to like jerk the wheel or something, and it'll be his fault. They'll be like, why did you jerk your wheel over, miss? Because my husband scared me. That's what I'll say. Hi, Miss Coffee. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I am so close to getting my Etsy shop going. Like, I have been working on it ever since we talked, like when I very first sent the stuff to you. And I was just talking about it with them earlier. I have been kind of plugging away at getting pens made so that I have some inventory. And I'm working really hard at getting about getting as many as I can to be versatile, to where you can change the tip to plastic or metal. And that is hard with some pens. Like some pens, it's just impossible to do at all. But I'm really, really trying. And I have figured out quite a few that I didn't think were possible. And then I made it possible. So, yeah, I'm getting that. And then I'm working on some cover minders. I was just showing everybody these really pretty ones I just got. I love them. They're so pretty. Aren't they? They're so sparkly and shiny. That's what I like about them. But no, so I'm getting there. It's close. I promise you, like the second I have it up and going, I will message you and let you know. But I knew, yes, I knew you would ask. I knew you would. But I've gotten some really cute pens. I still have more that should be here soon. I ordered some Bumblebee ones, and I finally had to put a dispute and ask my money back because it has been way over the time limit. I don't know if they automatically have to on AliExpress, like if they don't give it to you in the right amount of time, if it just automatically gives it to you back, refunds your money, or if you have to go in and do a dispute. But I did open a dispute because it had been past that like amount of time that they had to give it to me. And I don't think I'm ever going to get them. So I'm probably going to have to reorder them. And they were so cute. They were just like these little Bumblebee ones. So yeah, so people are asking you about the pens, huh? I did not know that they were asking about them. Yeah, but I'm also working on the polymer clay pens because like the one I sent you that I made, the purple one, it's, you know, probably that one was probably my third batch. So I'm still learning myself. So like I probably will have them up fairly inexpensive at first anyways, just until I feel more confident that they're up to like up to par with other people's. But I'm having fun making them. I really do. Yeah, that's true. I guess people ask me like, you know, what pens I use in my videos, and that's how up until this point, that's how I would sell them, was just people would ask me about them, and then I would say, yeah, I sell them, and then kind of word of mouth. But I do want to make it more of a, you know, of the shop, and like actually have more of it and get some inventory, and I'm trying to come up with some new little things which will be on the site when it comes out, and I'm very excited about those. And I'm not going to give that away, so y'all just have to wait until I can do that. But and Miss Coffee, I did want to say this. I think I might have posted it on your video of it, but of the one I'm doing now of the lotus flower. When I first saw it on their site, I wasn't a huge fan. Like it wasn't like it just didn't do, I mean, it was cute. I liked it, but it didn't do enough for me that I wanted it. And then I saw you do it, and I saw your video of it when it was all done, and I went to buy it, and then it was out of stock. And I was so mad at myself for not getting it because it was out of stock. So like the second it came back in, I grabbed it, and I love it. It is so pretty, and it's so easy and fast. This is only like so this whole part I did in 2 days, the top part. And then this part right here that I'm working on, I did a tiny bit of it last night, and the rest of it was just today. It works up so fast, which is one of the things that I really like about it, because I can get it up. And I wasn't going to do it right away because I'm really trying to focus on my Christmas present ones, because I have quite a few of them, but I really wanted to work on this one. And I was debating like starting it when this happened. Yeah. The struggle is real, you guys. See that? Yeah. I dropped, I actually had a spasm thing and hit the drills, and there was like 4 trays that I hit, and they all flew in the air and went all over the floor. And that was Nefertiti's drills, because that's when I was working on. And so at the time I was like, I don't want to separate all these, you know, that other one with the lotus flower only has like 7 colors. I don't even have to really kit that up. That is why I pulled this one out. Yeah. Just reading, making sure I'm not missing anything. But yeah, so I do have to, as soon as I'm done with this though, I will have to go in and separate those drills, which I'm so not looking forward to. I spill my drills all the time, but that is the first time that I have mixed up like that many colors together. And I'm just not looking forward to going through all of them. Not fun. I will have to go in a bit. I want to stay on longer, but my neighbor, I live in an apartment complex, and we've lived in this complex since 2012. So I have, and being the social bug that I am, I have met a lot of people here. And my neighbor lady, she, not the one I was talking about earlier, but another one. She actually works for the company, the rental company. She's the one that moved us in 2012. Anyways, her husband has had a lot of health issues, and yesterday he fell, and she wasn't sure if he was, because he hit his head when he fell and was unconscious, but they found out that she texted me this morning and that he actually had like a massive stroke, and he had a really bad bleed on the brain. I know a lot of medical stuff, but like strokes and like bleeds on the brain, I'm not super familiar with. But I know it's not good. And she said that they don't know if he's going to make it. And it's just kind of, it breaks my heart. They have been married like their whole life. They're older. He's, I'm not sure how old he is, but he's probably 80, I want to say. She's a little younger than he is, but they're so nice. And anyways, they have a little Chihuahua, and because she is at the hospital with him, I offered to help walk the Chihuahua for her, because that way she didn't have to worry about it. Because little dogs have to go pee so much more often than big dogs. Yeah, I I have to go over there every couple hours to let him out and go potty, where my dogs, they go morning, noon, and night. And then sometimes Lincoln will like go to the door and act like he needs to go, and I'll take him, but they don't have to. But little dogs, they're different. They've got just the little bladders, and they've got to go all the time, it seems like. But anyways, so yeah, I'm trying to help her out in, that's the only way I know how to help her, is just by trying to take that stress off of her. But he, even if he makes it, I don't think he will be ever coming back to live with her, because it was such a severe stroke, and she's known for a long time that he needs to go into a nursing home, because he is constantly hurting himself or falling, or tries to take the dog out and knows that he shouldn't, and knows that me and my daughter will willingly help him, but he's stubborn and doesn't want to leave the house either. But she's ready for him to go to a nursing home, because she just can't take care of him. And he's home, like, I want to say maybe a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. He fell in their home, and she got home from work, no idea how long he had been on the floor, but he had been on the floor so long. She showed me the picture of his face. He looked like he had been badly beaten. Like he looked like somebody beat the crap out of him. Because he's older, so he was face down, and like all the blood went to his face, and so he was so swollen, like his eyes were swollen closed. And it was because he couldn't get back up. And they got the neighbor guy to come help him pick him up because he, refused to go to the hospital. But she's definitely at that point where she knows he needs to go. And I think if he makes it, which I think's a pretty slight possibility, just by his health already. Yeah, I don't know, but it's a sad thing. I mean, I know him pretty well. He's a really nice guy, really, really nice guy. And I've seen him going through a lot of medical stuff since being here. He's had brain cancer. He's already had another minor stroke before. He has had numerous blood clots, and his health is just not good at all. He's in pain all the time from the brain cancer, and then this. And I think this is probably, either going to be the end or the end definitely of him ever living here, which it's going to be a huge adjustment for her because I don't know how long they've been married, but I know they've been married a long, long time. At least 40 years, which that's a long time to be with somebody and then all of a sudden be without them. I can't imagine. So he worked in nursing homes for 30 years and the subject of nursing homes pissed me off. So I have to leave now. I am sorry. I know nursing homes are a touchy subject, especially if you've worked in them. Kind of like daycare. Daycare does that to me. It stresses me out because I've worked in them, so I've seen what goes on in them, and some are great. I can't, just like some nursing homes are great, but daycares are one of those things that it's a tough subject because they should be paid more than they are because, well, they're taking care of like the most precious thing in your life. However, for you to be able to afford to pay them and work, I mean, if they cost a lot, then it'd be silly to work because you're not making any money because you're just paying them. But there are some good daycares. I've worked at one that was a really good daycare. But after having so many bad experiences in working in them, I went to being a full-time nanny, which I loved so much more. And it's so much more intimate with the families because you can get to know them, and then it's just better. I actually, my OBGYN was the one that I was her nanny for a few years before I had my kids, and so she delivered both my kids, which I can tell you, if you haven't had kids yet, you want a doctor trust, and like, because that's not something you want to be doing in labor and not liking your doctor or not getting along with your doctor, because that's just not a good situation. And so knowing that I could fully trust her and that she had like my best interest at heart, made everything that much more easier. For everything, because some doctors, and she even told me this, some OBs will actually push a cesarean section to a C-section if the mom is been in labor for a while and the doctor's like on call and doesn't want to have to worry about keep coming back and forth to the hospital. They will actually push a C-section because it's more convenient for them, which I think's horrible. I think it's unethical, and I remember her coming home from work numerous times being upset about it because of her colleagues. And I, being a patient, would be really, really, really mad if I found that out, because I had a C-section with my daughter because I had to, because she was breech. And they couldn't try to turn her because my uterus is shaped really weird. Like, most people's uteruses are like this, and mine is like this. I almost have two. There's just like a tiny section in between it, and so they couldn't flip her. They wouldn't even try because it would have been dangerous for her and me. And I had to have a C-section with her, but I had natural delivery with my son, and I would take a natural delivery like 10 times over having a C-section, because even though it's painful, when you're going through it, I'm not going to lie and say it's not. It is. However, the recovery time is so much easier when you don't. And I even, not to get graphic, I won't go there, but I tore a lot with my son. And still, my recovery was still way easier, even with that major. It was a 3rd-degree tear. I actually had to go to the operating room to be stitched. So it was a bad tear, and I would still take that 10 times over having a C-section, just because it was just harder recovery. And I'm no stranger to surgeries. I've had 14 surgeries. So it's not that, like, I just couldn't hack it or something. It was just, yeah, out of the 14 surgeries I've had, that was the worst one, was the C-section. I mean, luckily I got a baby out of it, which made it, that made it okay. But yeah, it was probably even more painful than when I had my gallbladder out and I had a doctor leave gauze inside of my stomach, and I was sick and had like 4 surgeries just from that. That was still probably less painful than the recovery of the C-section. But again, I have a weird uterus, so things were different for me than they are for everybody. So, I mean, my sisters had 4 C-sections, and she was fine, didn't have major problems. So don't worry. I mean, yeah, I'm weird. You know how when you go to a doctor and they're doing like any kind of a procedure, or they're giving you a new medication or anything, and they say, oh, only 3% of people have, this happen. So don't worry, it's such a low amount. Well, I make that 3%. Like, I am that 3%. Anytime they say that, I'm like, really? You just had to say that, because it almost always happens. Yes, Miss Coffee, I know we talked about this before. I also have a tilted uterus, as well as the what it's called a bicornuate uterus, where it's misshapen, or you have a full, like, literally you have 2 uteruses. But I also have a tilted uterus. And when I was pregnant with my kids, I remember I was pregnant with my son. I was 5.5 months pregnant. And we had just found out what he was not long before that. And I went to get my hair done. And it was October. I decided to go cut off 14 inches of my hair on a whim. I don't know why, but I did. And so I went to a different place than I normally went, because they were doing free haircuts for if you donated it to breast cancer. And so I did. I went in to cut my hair all off. And I sit in the chair, and like I said, I wasn't due till March. It was only October. And I sit down, and the lady's like, oh my, you must be due any day now. Don't have that baby in my chair. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I was really, really upset. I remember going home and being like, do I look like I'm about ready to have this baby. And my husband's like, yeah, but that's not your fault. Like, I didn't gain any weight with her. I actually lost weight with her because I was so sick, but I stuck out there far. Like, it was, yeah. Some people have a tilted uterus and it goes backwards, like into their stomach more rather than pushing out. And those are the people who sometimes have pregnancies that they don't even know about. Like, if you don't have all the other symptoms that, I don't know how you could be pregnant and not know, because my symptoms were so dramatic. But yeah, anyways, I just can't imagine. But people do it. They have babies and they don't know they're having a baby until they're in labor. And the people with a tilted uterus, if the uterus tilts backwards, those are the people who don't show as much, because the baby is pushing back rather than pushing out. And so if they don't have any other symptoms, then they might not know they're pregnant because they don't look pregnant. And I used to think that was kind of a load of crap. Like, it was just, I don't know, people talking. But then I knew somebody that it happened to, and she had absolutely no idea that she was pregnant until her last month. And she went in and her doctor was like, you're pregnant. And they did an ultrasound and she couldn't believe she was 9 months pregnant. I mean, talk about a shocking pregnancy. That would not be fun. That would be really scary to find out you're pregnant and they're like, by the way, your due date's in a few days. Like, no, I don't think so. That would be terrible. But it'd be even more terrifying going in because you have a stomach ache or don't feel good. And they're like, oh, by the way, you're having a baby. Like, what? Have you ever seen that show called, I don't know what it's called, but it's all about people that didn't know they were pregnant and like going into labor and like going to the hospital, like thinking they had food poisoning. And then they go in and they end up having a baby. This one lady even had twins. And on that show, that's when I used to think it was a load of crock. But then when I met, I knew someone that it happened to, I was like, she just had absolutely no symptoms, but I had every symptom, it seemed like. I don't know. My body does not do pregnancy well. We'll just say that. My friend Kristen went to the ER thinking she had gallstones, came out with a 9-pound baby. Oh my gosh. So somebody that it's happened to too. 9 pounds. How can you have 9 pounds of baby in you and not know it? It blows my mind. Like, it blows my mind. Yeah, I thought it was called something like that. I didn't know I was pregnant or something. I don't even know if it's on anymore. I haven't watched that in years, but I used to watch that. But it blows my mind. Like, especially 9 pounds. That's a big baby. It's not like she was, carrying a 5-pounder or something. But that is just nuts. And I was one of those people that I always found out I was pregnant like right away because I was such a regular person. Regular as in like my periods were regular, not like regular, not normal person. But I would get motion sickness like at 6 weeks and it was bad. Like, my son wasn't as bad as my daughter, but I just had so many, I don't know. I went into labor so early with both of them. I can't imagine going your whole pregnancy not knowing about it. But that would be, I do have a friend, she knew she was pregnant, but she said she had like no symptoms except for her belly looked like she swallowed a watermelon. But yeah, I don't think it's on anymore though, is it? Let's see, or they have a bad backache and find out they're in labor or something and they know she's pregnant. Yeah, I've heard of that too, where you think, because people who have back labor, which from what I've heard, back labor is even worse than like regular labor. I didn't have any contractions in my back ever, but From what I've heard, they're bad. And yeah, that would be some backache though, to go into the hospital thinking you just had a bad backache and finding out, surprise, you want a baby. I always thought it's so weird too, like people when you have a C-section, because it is such a huge surgery, and most surgeries, like when they send you home, they're like, no lifting, no doing that, take it easy, sleep, blah blah blah. And then you have a baby, which is a huge surgery, and they give you this baby to take home, and they're like, here, take care of this baby, even though you just had a major surgery. And I was always just, I mean, obviously you have to take care of it, but it's just kind of a funny thing to think about, because I am weird like that. And yeah, let's see. The way I found out is I eat ranch with everything, and one day I smelled ranch and I was getting nauseous. That's how you actually like figured out you were pregnant? That's crazy. It is true though, like certain things that you normally like, you might not like during pregnancy, and then there are certain things you used to hate that you might like during pregnancy. Like I do not like tomato soup, never have. But when I was pregnant, I loved it. I loved it. I ate it all the time. And then I had my son and thought, oh yeah, well I'll still like it because I liked it all this time, and went to have it and did not like it again. I was kind of disappointed because when I was pregnant, I craved it, and it was so good. You know, when you're pregnant and you are craving something and then you eat it and it's so satisfying. And so I thought I was going to go and have it and like it again, and then I didn't like it, which was sad because I make grilled cheese a lot in the fall and winter time. Like once a week, we'll have grilled cheese and soup. And I loved that. I liked it. Everybody in my family likes tomato soup, but me. I'm just the oddball out. One day I loved chocolate milk. One day I drank it. Nope. But I got Minna. Still can't drink chocolate milk. Yeah. You know, something similar to that. When I was pregnant, I was doing dishes. We had spaghetti and green beans or something. I don't know. Anyways, I was doing dishes and I was fine. Didn't feel sick at all. And then I smelt it and was sick. And yeah, almost threw up on my husband, but I didn't. But to this day, when we have spaghetti, like I like spaghetti still, but I do not do those dishes. I cannot smell that. Like the spaghetti with the water and the dish soap, something about it, it brings me back, and I can't do them. Like I will not do spaghetti dishes. They're disgusting. And any kind of like strawberry smelling like shampoo and all that kind of stuff makes me it's just gross. Ugh. So yeah, I don't think I had any foods that were ruined when I was pregnant, but I definitely certain things that I smell will still get me, that they, that if it bugged me when I was pregnant, then sometimes it brings you back to that time, and yeah, it'll get me. So it's a good excuse not to do the dishes on spaghetti night, especially because spaghetti dishes are a pain in the butt anyways. Pregnancy tests in a row, and all 3 were positive, and we didn't tell the grandparents till his Nana asked me, and I gave it away by saying, why did Brian tell you? Oops. I'll drink. Yeah, I love chocolate milk. When I was pregnant with my son, though, so I'm not a huge milk drinker. Like I like it. It's not bad, but I wouldn't choose to drink it over other things. I'll have it once in a while, like with dinner, but I really don't drink milk very often by itself. Now, if I have a cookie with it, sure, then I'll have it. But by itself, I'm not a big fan of milk. But when I was pregnant with my son, I was obsessed with it. I would drink it all the time. And I remember we were leaving my mother-in-law's house one Sunday night because we used to have dinner with her every Sunday. And I knew we didn't have milk at home and it was getting late and my husband had to work in the morning and did not want to stop. And I was like almost panicking about not having milk at home. And so my mother-in-law filled up a like a mason jar of milk for me so that I could have milk at home. And my husband would bring me, like I said, he gets up really early. So he would bring me a glass of milk when he'd get up and go to work because with my son, I had heartburn, but it wasn't bad enough to where I took medicine for it. And so, but milk would always help at night. So I'd have a glass of milk and that would help my heartburn. But later I found out that it might help at the time, but milk actually makes heartburn worse later. So just a little FYI. Couldn't even eat chicken, bacon, ranch, sandwich. Tried, and Luke was like, nope. Yeah, it's funny too how like certain things. Well, I know for sure between my son and my daughter, it was hugely different. Like my pregnancy was so different. Everything that happened with my daughter's pregnancy was that much more like dramatic and like with being sick. Like Alex, when I was pregnant with Alex, I was sick the first like, few weeks and I only threw up a couple times. With my daughter, I was sick the entire pregnancy and I threw up all the time and I didn't gain any weight with her. I actually lost weight with her. And so it was just the way it felt was different. She was high where he was lower. And I think that you can really tell the difference between a boy and a girl pregnancy if you've had it already. At least for me, I could, because it was so, so different. And I had definitely like a stronger sense of smell with him. And yeah, but I was huge when I was pregnant. And then I didn't have any stretch marks until the last like 2 weeks. And then I swear when it dropped, it looked like a tiger just came up to me and was like right down my belly. And I was so bad because I was like thinking, yay, I'm going to get through my whole pregnancy without any stretch marks. And then, hello. Yeah. And then my son asked me not long ago, actually, I don't know why my stomach was showing, but it was. And he said something about it. And I was like, kid, you better be quiet because you're the one that gave me those stretch marks. He's like, well, how do you get stretch marks? I'm like, when your body grows too fast, because that's what happens is your body doesn't have time to stretch. So it tears, and that's what a stretch mark is. Yeah. Fun for anyone trending loves Caesar salads. It's funny, when I was beginning of my pregnancy with my son, I had bagels all the time, and my husband used to say that he was going to come home from work one day, and I would just be a big bagel sitting in the living room, because I would just eat them all the time. But then I got diabetes when I was pregnant. I got gestational diabetes with both kids, and that is hard. That's hard. When you're pregnant and you're like craving things and you can't just go and eat them because, of the carbs in them. And that sucked. That test for gestational diabetes was the worst. The worst. But yeah. But at least with my daughter, when she says like, oh, you don't understand, I'm like, no, I don't understand, but I did have a glimpse of what you go through, just a little glimpse. So I get how hard it is. And I can't imagine, but one thing is, though, with her is that she was diagnosed so young. She doesn't really remember not being a diabetic. And my mom was diagnosed when she was 10, and she doesn't remember not being a diabetic. So that's one good thing about her being diagnosed at an early age, is that she doesn't at this point have anything to really compare it to except for other kids. So, because it ain't like, she's tough. She can do it all, but the only thing that gets her is that it's inconvenient, as a kid, to stop playing or to go have to check your blood sugar or give yourself insulin or whatever. It could be kind of annoying, I would think, but because it's annoying as an adult. But no stretch marks until a year after you had Maggie. I started exercising, and boom, stretch marks. Literally have 6 lines on each side of my hips. When you started exercising, you got them? Huh. I wonder if, were you, building a lot of muscle or something? Typically, I thought you got stretch marks when you got bigger, not when you got smaller. That's weird. That is really weird. I've never heard that, actually. That had to be kind of frustrating, too. Be working out, getting healthy, bam, here is your reward for that. I don't really remember if I got them after, because I know I got more as I've gotten older and had Maddie and all that. I stopped looking at them, but I don't know when I got them. So I just know I have them now. And I know I got the ones on my belly in the end of my pregnancy with my son, when he decided to drop and claw my stomach like a tiger. And that's what it looks like. And I use cocoa butter and all that stuff. They say, oh, use this and then you won't get stretch marks. Yeah. No, that's not entirely true. You can do everything and still get them, because it's just the way it is. Some people's, it's the elasticity in your skin. Some people get them and other people don't. You see people who are huge, huge stomachs, pregnant-wise, and have no stretch marks on them. So that always, and the people who are like, I never had a sick a day in my life with my pregnancies. And I'm like, yeah, you make me sick saying that, because my pregnancies were not easy. I got pregnant easily, but it was keeping it, and then, yeah, it was just not fun. But I cannot have kids anymore, and that's fine with me. I had to have a hysterectomy when I was 26. And so all that girl stuff, I sometimes forget about it. But oh my gosh, you guys, my daughter, she's 10. I know I've said that. She's only 10, and it's coming. I know it is, by the way she's acting. And I don't know, if any of you guys have older girls, when they had theirs first period, but I didn't have mine until I was almost 16. And yeah, but I know by just everything, and then I was told, actually, all the blood sugar shifts happen a lot of times right before they get their first period. And I'm like, wonderful. She's only going into 5th grade. But my sister got hers in 5th grade. But I was 15, my mom was 16. But all of my husband's side of the family was early, so I don't know. I don't know what's typical nowadays. Things change, and so I don't know what's typical. What's a normal time to have that happen? But I know that she used to tell me all the time when she was little, and she would see, when you'd watch a show and there'd be a teenager that would be being a smart aleck, or, not be very nice, and she'd go, Mom, I'll never do that. Mom, I'll never act that way. Mom, I'll always love you, even when even when I go through puberty and get older. And I'm like, can you please write that down and sign it? Because I guarantee you that won't be the case. And she told me this up till like a year and a half ago. And now I'm like, yeah, remember what you used to say? She also has told me like she doesn't want to grow up because she doesn't want to move out. She always wants to live with me. And I'm like, yeah, record yourself saying that so that way when you're 16, I can play that back for you, because I guarantee you when you are 16, you will not be able, you'll be itching at the door to get out. So, love her to death when I told the doctor either tie my tubes or I will do it myself. Yeah, and Miss Coffee, it's funny because some people actually have to go through a struggle to get the doctors to tie their tubes. If you do not have, I don't know what it's like everywhere, but I know in Spokane, like if you do not have a medical reason or you do not have 4 kids, they won't tie your tubes. And luckily, I mean, I had a medical reason, so they did, but I've had friends that wanted their tubes tied, and the doctor would not do it because they only had 2 kids and they were too young. And 2 kids, never got sick. I felt nauseous, but never got sick. Minna got her first period a day after her 13th birthday. We're late bloomers. I was 16 when I got my first. Yeah, see, Miss Coffee, I was 15. Summer when I was 15, I got one, and then I didn't get another one till the day after Thanksgiving. I remember because it was Black Friday. So I was like, it was November when I was 15, and I turned 16 in April. My mom was 16 though. So, but my sister, she was only in 5th grade. So yeah, so different states I know have different laws and rules about that. So you have to have 3 kids, and you have 3 kids, so then they should have done it with no problem, right? I only had 2. Obviously, I have 2 kids, and when I was 26, my doctor basically told me, well, she thought I had cervical cancer. They were going to do a test, and but she said that I needed to have a hysterectomy because I was bleeding more days out of the month than I was not bleeding. And I was in pain all the time. I was having ovarian cysts all the time. It was just a mess. And so I finally, I agreed to do it, and it was the best decision I've ever made. Like, best decision, because I feel so much better. I'm so much healthier. I haven't had to be in the hospital. Most of my surgeries were female related, and so best decision I made. Like, sometimes I forget too. My friends will be like, oh, I don't want to go swimming today because, and I'll be like, why? And they'll be like, well, it's that time. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing, because I don't have that anymore. I still have my one ovary though, so I have hormones. Otherwise I would have went into like automatic menopause, which I didn't want. But from what I heard from my last doctor appointment, my ovary is slowly dying. And so I will be probably going through menopause here within the next year and probably having to get that ovary removed, which, it is what it is. But I feel very blessed I have 2 kids, because I was told I was not going to have kids, that I wouldn't be able to have kids. And I had a very hard time holding on to the kids when I did get pregnant. So I feel very blessed. And actually, Madeline, my daughter, she was a twin. Which we lost one of them in the beginning of my pregnancy, and she was kind of a extraordinary miracle baby, because they told us that we, lost the baby, and at that point didn't know that there was 2. And I kind of went through the whole grieving, mad, everything phase, and then went in the next week to figure out why my body hadn't fully, gotten rid of everything, and they were probably going to have to schedule another surgery. They did an ultrasound, and there she was. So she was definitely in like a huge miracle, and so I feel very blessed. And I got a boy and a girl. My whole pregnancy with her, we didn't find out what she was, and everybody kept telling me it was a boy, it was a boy, it was a boy, because of the heart rate and all that, and the way I was carried. And so I had convinced myself it was a boy because I really wanted a girl, because I wanted one of each. And when they pulled her out and said it was a girl, they asked them like 20 times, like, it's a girl, really? It is? Like, but yeah. Okay, guys, so it is 8 o'clock. I've been yakking at you for 2 hours, and I need to get over and let the Chihuahua potty, and my dog is sitting there staring at me because I feed him at 8 o'clock every night. And at 8:02, he starts whining at me, like, why is the food not in my bowl? Like, and then I take him out into that field that, if you've watched any of my videos over there, I'm over there a lot, and they love it over there. I love it over there. It's very peaceful. It's a great time at night, too. I take the dogs over there, and it's kind of my quiet time, too, because the kids don't usually come with me. But anyways, so I gotta do that, and I'm done with that section that I was working on. So hopefully, I'm pretty sure by tomorrow I will be able to get this section knocked out and get this finished. Where is my measuring tape? Why is nothing there when I want it? When I don't need it, I can always find it very quickly. Or when I'm not on camera, I can always find things very quickly. Oh, it's on the floor. That's why. Ugh. Let's see. Let's see how many centimeters I have left to go. So 28, probably by 28. It's almost like a square. 28 by 25. I should be able to do that tomorrow. Before I go, I have a quick question for you guys, and you can answer now or you can answer in the comments. I don't care. I'm just trying to get some feedback, like I said, for my Etsy channel and stuff. Not channel, my Etsy shop. And I'm wondering, for your guys' multi-placers, do you prefer, and I don't know if I have any of them, of the other ones on me. Here, I think I don't have any of the other big ones on me, but do you guys prefer, like, okay, here's your typical 3-placer that you get in your kits. Do you prefer these bigger, like the thicker ones, or do you prefer the thinner ones that come like this, that are most of your 4-placers? They have 4-placers come. They're the skinny ones. They're the ones you do have to replace over time because they do wear down. Do you prefer the thin multi-placers or the thick multi-placers? Because I found, and I have got, and they will be on my shop, all of these. These are multi-placers that are just like the 4-placers that we use, but they are different sizes. Like I got all the way from 3 to 15 placers, but they're the thin placers like the 4-placers, and I love them. I get such better spacing in between my drills with the thin ones than I do with the thick ones. I absolutely love these. And so typically, as I don't know if you noticed, but I had 4 sitting out here. I don't use the 15 super often, but I have these ones out all the time now. So I have so this is an 11 placer, then I have a 7, a 5, a 4, and a 3. And I just change as I go through, depending on where I'm at in my painting, but I love them. And yeah, I'm so glad I found the thin ones, but I'm just curious because yeah, so if you really want one, Miss Coffee, I can send you one. And I have the 15 placer, and they're great, and they're thin. And so that's the thing. Obviously, with this kind, you do have to replace it after a while, just like with the 4-placer, but it's so thin, and I love it. They work so much better for me. I don't like the other multi-placers. The thick just don't do well with them. If they seem to like hit the drill next to it, so you can't place it as well or something. I don't know. I just have a problem. But yeah, there's a 15 placer, Christy. I know. When I got them, they went literally, I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have all of those. I didn't even know they made all of those until I bought these, and absolutely love them because you can pick the size that you want. Some people are only comfortable with the 3 placer, and I love the 3 placer, but I don't like the typical 3 placer because it's so thick. But this one, here's the difference between the regular 3 and the one I have just got. I'll put wax so you can see the difference in the thickness of them. Hopefully you can see that. I know my camera is not the best. I am sorry. So see that? It's there. There's a huge difference in the amount of wax and the spacing in there that I just do so much better with the thin ones, but I didn't know if that was just me or not. But sounds like everybody would probably rather the thin ones. I'll probably have a couple of the thicker ones for people that want those, but I'll probably stock mainly these ones. But I have a ton of 4 placers too because I love me some 4 placers. Those are my favorites. So, but yeah, that is where I am going to cut it tonight because now my dog is sitting here looking at me, starting to whine because he is a big baby. You know, dogs and food. My other dog, she's not a foodie like he is, but he's all about his food. So, yeah, you heard me say food, didn't you? So I am going to end it with that. But thank you guys so much for joining me and making this first Whip and Chat live go so smoothly and so easy. You guys are absolutely wonderful. And Christy, don't be scared of the 9 placer or 6 placer with the thin ones. I tell you, they are different. They really are. You got to try them. But and you are more than welcome, Miss Coffee. I'm going to try to do a live once a week. I don't know if I'll do it Saturdays or not. I'm going to come up with a time that works for me, and then maybe I'll take like a vote on see like what you guys like, because I'm pretty open at this point. So, but do not forget, you guys, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. So don't forget to keep on shining. Bye, everybody.